call it in a way Uber for gym memberships. Maybe, to explain it simply, you give people access to a whole host of activities for a fixed amount.
So it's a subscription service, one membership, which is called Fitpass 360, that gives you access to 12,000 gyms and fitness studios across the country in 150 cities. We are firm believers that activity and nutrition go hand in hand. So you have unlimited support from expert nutritionists throughout.
This is something you and your sister have started together. Tell us a bit about the origin story and where this idea came from.
I was in New York when I came back on a sabbatical, and suddenly access to fitness seemed like a problem. Right? Gyms wanted you to pay for the whole year.
If people are too lazy to go to the membership they paid for at that one gym, are they really going to go to all of these classes you're offering?
The fitness industry sees a retention rate of 25%. For us, we've inverted it. 78% members stick on month. Today, if you invest in Fitpass membership and you compound your habits, you make way more money than you would in the stock market.
Usually a consumer-facing, tech platform-enabled business sees love being showered by the VCs. That love seems to have skipped you.
They chose a winner for India before the customers could. But that is not how the market played out. The one that they backed, unfortunately, still commands losses.
Akshay, thank you so much for coming in and speaking to us. 11 years later, after you've started your journey on Fitpass, I call it in a way Uber for gym memberships. Maybe, to explain it simply, do you think you've made the headway you had hoped for?
Thank you very much for having me here. It's a very direct question. Do we think we've made the headway? Yes, we certainly have come a very, very long way from where we were in 2015 to where we are now. And that I speak not only in terms of consumer behavior, but the mindset shift, the regulatory shift, the narrative, how it has evolved over the last decade, 100%. And have we reached the pinnacle of it? No, I think we're barely scratching the surface. And I think fitness for a young nation is an evergreen thesis, because as we get older, it is only going to get more important.
Yeah. So it's an interesting founder story. This is something you and your sister have started together after you went through the global financial crisis, had a great job working abroad, and then decided to come and do it. Tell us a bit about the origin story and where this idea came from.
So I think the importance of physical activity, we first learned in class 4, right? Health means physical and mental well-being, exercise and balanced diet. I had always been an athlete. I played football for state. I played cricket for the university. So fitness was always important for me. I've had multiple injuries. I've had 2 ACL surgeries. I've come back from that. So the importance of what strength means, what conditioning means, what mobility means, all of that I always understood. The origin was really, I was in New York when I came back on a sabbatical. So after you spoke about the crisis is when I started my career in private equity in 2008 in London. And after that, I moved to New York after a few years. And then I came back on a sabbatical. And suddenly, access to fitness seemed like a problem. Right? Gyms wanted you to pay for the whole year. But your hairdresser doesn't want you to pay for the whole year. They know you come every month. Nobody in your consumption basket wanted you to pay for the whole year and hope that you don't use them. So inherently, this segment was broken. Slowly, we started understanding that supply wasn't the issue. Participation was. So in an industry where consumer was not the king, really started irking us. Obviously, I wanted to access these fitness centers. My sister, she had her own reasons to access. So it started as only us solving it for ourselves, because I was meant to go back to New York. I was never meant to stay. But then as we got deeper into the problem, the rest is history.
Who's the older one, you or your sister?
I am.
Okay.
4 years.
And then, okay, so, and you roped her along into this idea?
I think it took us a year to convince ourselves that we want to do this, because the problem was huge. But was it really our problem? Did we really want to solve it? How big was it going to get? So that is where we started doing a lot of research, because my background is math, economics, banking. Hers was economics, policy making, World Bank. So both of us are very logical and rational in our approach. So we needed to convince ourselves. Once we convinced ourselves, then we delved deeper into execution. And today it's playing out the way we wanted it to, but definitely at a slower pace initially. And now the pace is what we could not have imagined.
Yeah. No, so I just want to come back to the thought process and the space from where this started. Very often companies, products and ideas are reflective of the environment in which they are born. So both of you accomplished, brother and sister, part of a well-educated family. Father's an IS officer, mother's a nanoscientist, and then you come up with this plan. What are your parents thinking right now? Bachcho ko likhaya, padhaya, they got great jobs, and now what has happened?
So this was the first thought. This was my grandmother's thought. This was everybody's thought. And it is true that in our family...
What was the reaction?
I think because of our parents' support and the emphasis they put on our education and for us to pursue excellence no matter what we did, I think that is what gave us the ability to take a risk. And yes, for them, it was all eggs in one basket, right? Both brother and sister doing the same thing, whether it'll work, not work. And 2015, you saw demonetization 16, you saw GST 18, you saw COVID. So it hasn't been an easy journey for them, I'm very sure. And I don't think they can even till date explain to their friends what Akshay and Arushi do and what Fitpass truly encompasses. But I think they're very proud. So yes, initially there were a lot of concerns. However, they knew that because we are well educated, and because of the value systems we grew up with, if people like us don't try and create change, then who will?
So let's explain to people tuning into this on what exactly Fitpass does. You give people access to a whole host of activities for a fixed amount per month.
Yes. So it's a subscription service that gives you access to everything you need to get fit, feel well, and be happy. So that means one membership, which is called Fitpass 360, that gives you access to 12,000 gyms and fitness studios across the country in 150 cities. So that's gym, yoga, Pilates, Zumba, Krav Maga, CrossFit, swimming, tennis. However you want to be physically active, all of that is accessible. We are firm believers that activity and nutrition go hand in hand. So you have unlimited support from expert nutritionists throughout. So they will talk to you, you will fill out an HRA, they will plan your daily meals, you log your calories, you log your meals, you plan your macros. Plus, you get access to workouts at home. So we had launched our AI fitness coaching in 2018 when no one spoke of AI. Today she coaches about 7 lakh people a month.
This is your AI coach?
Yes, she's called Arya, Advanced Recommendation Engine for Individual Assistance. We launched in 2018. So Arya serves as your coach. Then you have access to global fitness content. So 4,000 global fitness studios we partnered with, and we bring their workouts. If you wanted to do soul cycle classes like Michelle Obama does in America, or you wanted to do Zumba with the Colombians who invented it, mixed martial arts with British athletes, kickboxing with Australian athletes, all of that is available on Fitpass TV. And in case you fall ill, you have unlimited access to doctor consults, pharmacy vouchers, health checkups. All of this is one subscription, and it's only 2,999 rupees a month. So no lock-in, no yearly fees. You get fit your way.
What's the asterisk hidden details over here that people should know about? Is there a restriction on the number of lessons you can do, the number of gyms you can go to, the timings of when you can go? Because there's always a hidden detail.
None. Zero hidden details. The only new detail is that actually we pay you to build healthy habits. So once you buy our subscription, if you start behaving and compounding your healthy habits, so you do at least 6 workouts a month, you log your meals, we pay you capital, withdrawable real money, we pay you to build these habits.
How do you do that? Do you share the data of people who put it in, or do you monetize
So it's personal
that
to you.
data?
So it's personal to you.
Okay.
So if you bought our subscription and you started building healthy habits, we would pay you. So it is so we want to lay the foundations of what we call India's habit economy. Because ultimately it is about building consistency and making sure people stick around and compound these habits.
Do people stick around? What is the sort of retention rate that you see of subscribers? Because that's a metric I'm sure you track.
that is the metric that has been the growth engine, the power engine for us to be where we are. The industry, the fitness industry, sees a retention rate of 25%.
Basically, of every 100 people who sign up at the gym on the 1st of Jan,
Or whenever, 25 will stay, 75 will churn. For us, we've inverted it. 78% members stick on month. So I think that is the true disruption when you start inverting consumer behavior.
So whenever I speak to anyone, Akshay, who runs a consumer-facing business, I do make it a point to ask them about what consumers say online, because it's only fair, and you will see a lot of comments on this as well. Some feedback which comes online on, I took a membership, but I did not really get the classes I want. I did not get the kind of service that I want. How do you respond to some of these things?
Consumer feedback is possibly the only thing that keeps you going. I think as we are scaling, as our numbers are becoming larger, it is true that the hotspots are getting filled out, which is why you need to book. So a Pilates class grew 191% last year, our check-ins for Pilates.
It's suddenly the hottest thing.
So obviously, if that much supply doesn't exist, then those are getting booked out faster. And that is a function of how committed you are to reserving your class well in advance. But for a standard, simple gym workout, there is never a problem. You can walk in anytime, anywhere. But specialized classes, as inventory grows across the country, more slots will get available.
Yeah, no, and it's at a good rate, because otherwise some of these classes are very expensive. My question at core is, the problem with most people who take gym memberships is not that maybe the price is prohibitive in some cases, and then they just don't go. If people are too lazy to go to the membership they paid for at that one gym, are they really going to go to all of these classes you're offering? Your Krav Maga and swimming and Pilates and gym, they're barely going for one. People are barely going for a walk.
Okay. So this is the premise that people had 11 years ago, and our data continually shows this is not how Indians actually behave.
You're saying they're not lazy and they love to work out.
Indians, we released our annual report last month, and you will see our members, we call them Fitsters. Today we are home to 11 million Fitsters. They work out 8 times a month. This is twice the global average. Like Fitpass, there is a unicorn in the US called Gympass, now known as WellHub. They also released their report last month. Their average check-ins per month is 4 times. Indians work out double. Our members work out at 3 studios on average, one close to home, one close to office.
But this is your sample size. You're extending it to Indians. This is your sample size.
I don't think anybody in India has 11 million members. Gyms barely have 1,000.
These are active members?
These are active members. This sort of data set nobody has. So when I speak quite confidently of behaviors that we are seeing. Was this the case 10 years ago? No. Is it the case now? Yes. You're seeing retention. You're seeing active engagement. You're seeing people like us invest in building healthy habits. We don't need to incentivize you, but we understand that good habits take time. The same way you were convinced to invest in SIPs. Today, if you invest in Fitpass membership and you compound your habits, you make way more money than you would in the stock market. You'd make big bull returns like 21% on simple habits.
How will I make more money than the stock market? You mean in saving on doctor's bills?
No. We pay you real money back. So if you do 6 workouts a month in the first month, 7 workouts in the second month, 8 workouts in the third month, so that's 6 plus 7, 13, 13 plus 8, 21. This is what behavioral science tells you. If you start doing something 21 times, you start building habits. So if you've done that, you're able to get 21% returns if you've combined your workouts with logging your meals, tracking your calories. So they're a set of habits you've built. We give you 21% monetary return.
Wow. I'm trying to understand what is the kind of consumer behavior and consistency that you've been seeing over the years. And you talked about starting the business at a tough time. In that sense, you had demon, and then you had other things happening. And then, of course, COVID, when all the gyms pretty much shut. Was that a time when you had to look back and wonder if this is a business model that will actually survive?
100%. Like there were lots of moments of self-doubt, of concern, not just for us, but for everybody who was part of the Fitpass ecosystem, all our employees, their families, our partner network, everybody. Every time we had these moments, we went back to why we started this, what were our reasonings, and every time they held ground intuitively, logically. We are a country that is the youngest in the world. Right? Average age today is 28, was 24 in 2015, in 2030 you'll be 31. However, you're still the world's diabetic capital, hypertensive capital, obesity capital. This is when 60% of your population is below 35. The proudest thing that we have is our demographic dividend, which means we're counting on this young population to be active members of our growth engine for the economy, to earn more, to spend more. Average age of getting a preventable lifestyle disease in India, 35.
No, but this is a problem for policymakers to solve. You're here to run a business.
Let me just complete this and then 35 is your age. Sick people don't buy iPhones. Sick people buy medicines. So if you ever aspire to be a $5 trillion economy, you need to preserve this. You're right, policymakers are a very important stakeholder in our business or in this country. And this we understood early. So since 2015, we started September. Since 2016, we started writing to the government that your policies are not structured for this. While there are claims of what we will become, there is a different reality. 2017 November, the first time I got an invite from the then Finance Minister, Shri Arun Jaitley, for pre-budget consultation. 2018, for the first time in independent India's budget, the word fitness found mention. Since then, we've been actively working with the government to change regulation, to bring fitness as part of preventive health, to recognize it as a core pillar. So you would have seen recently GST got reduced from 28% to 18%, then to 5%. This does not happen automatically. The government does not work without evidence, without data. Who was giving this data? Single-handedly Fitpass. Because only we have that amount of data that can bring policy change. Usually,
You're saying the rest of the fitness industry was not part of any consultation?
unfortunately, not directly with the government that we know of. I don't think there is any official communication that we are privy to. But all the communication with, so when GST changes, there is a department called TPRU, Tax Policy Research Unit. Somebody you have to convince that this is the data, this is the economic impact, this is the future impact, this might be the reduction in collection today, this might be the gains in the economy tomorrow. How do you structure it? Somebody has to engage logically, mindfully, and that has only been us.
It's you guys who've been doing it.
Because we care for the ecosystem. We are not a gym operator. We are people who want consumers to be king, have choice in their life, have the flexibility to access fitness when they want, where they want, how they want.
Why do gyms not really work in India and sustain beyond a point? You hear more about them closing than opening. Is that a model that's broken?
Yes and no. Is a capex heavy model in itself limited by design? 100%. There is only so many people you can keep. You're a hyper-local experience. Only people who live in a 2 to 3 kilometer radius can come to you. But your memberships are designed to be yearly. So somebody has to be able to pay 25, 30,000 in one go and commit to you only. So if they want to go swimming or they want to play tennis or they want to do Pilates, they need another membership. And the population that resides around you in the 2 to 3 kilometer radius does not explode overnight, right? So that is all that you can address. So unless you are a system that brings more people into the ecosystem, you're obviously going to decay because there will be newer alternatives. Gyms are commercial establishments. I'll give you an example for Delhi. In West Delhi, in Punjabi Bagh, there is Club Road. On Club Road, there are 11 gyms next to each other. You go to GK Market, there are 17. You go to Priya Market, there are 7. So for the customer, it's like choosing an Indian restaurant or a Chinese restaurant. Why should they keep going to a cafe that is an all-stack, full-stack gym? Gyms do not also fundamentally work because the focus is maybe not on retention as much as it should be. Right? We are the only ones who possibly digitized the fitness industry in India.
What you're saying is right, Akshay. Gyms seem to be only interested in you till you cut that check. After that, tum aao, nahi aao, doesn't matter. Nahi aao, even better.
Which is why I said I agree and disagree. So this was the agreement part. Where I disagree with you now is that today you will see gyms have grown. Good chains that focus on customers grew. They went from 1 center to 10 centers. This is in a country where they were not getting any VC money. They were not getting any private money. They possibly borrowed from family and friends at 24%, not bank money, and grew from 1 center to 2 to 3 to 10. This is where I disagree, that people who are focusing are growing very fast. People who are stuck in the traditional model, maybe not so much.
Let me talk a bit about your journey and the company's journey. Usually a consumer-facing, tech platform-enabled business sees love being showered by the VCs. That love seems to have skipped you.
Yes, 100%.
Why is that? Is that because there's no mutual admiration, or it just didn't seem like a hot business on metrics?
So I don't think the conversation can be as reductive as just these 3 points. I think, no, there's a lot of love and appreciation for VCs. I used to be on the other side. I was in private equity, so not early stage checks, but slightly later stage checks. I think in India, fitness as a thesis got skipped. And the VCs, maybe in India, and I'm saying this candidly, and I know they're fragile in their thinking and their egos, but so this may go anyway for me, but they chose a winner for India before the customers could.
In your space?
In fitness, right? And that, it doesn't matter which sector you look at, there's usually a thesis for how the sector will evolve, whether it is travel, whether it is mobility, whether it is e-commerce. There is never one player who gets exorbitant amounts of access to resource and others don't, because if everybody locks out capital, then it's tough. And everybody then vies, if you have multiple players, they vie for customer love, they vie for execution, and the ones who turn out to be more efficient then survive. But here in India, the VCs thought they knew better. But that is not how the market played out. The one that they backed, unfortunately, still commands losses, where 99% of India's fitness industry has grown.
Now, if you're being candid, bata do, who are you talking about?
Well, it doesn't matter, but I think people know.
Okay, so you're talking about CultFit. They're also your biggest competition because they have similar offerings.
I don't think Cult is a competition to us. Cult is an asset owner, so Cult will compete with an Anytime Fitness or a Nitro or a CapEx heavy business. We are a layer above them. Do we need many people like Cult in the ecosystem? 100%, because it is only above that we can sit and build customer behavior. It is similar to airlines and people who like make my trips and ease my trips of the world. CapEx heavy business, airlines don't tend to do very well. Right? All those guys who build distribution for them are all unicorns.
Yeah, but distribution businesses exist because someone has put in the
Exactly.
CapEx.
So are they needed? Yes. Do we compete? No. We're enablers for them.
What's the most surprising customer response you saw in an Indian city?
So in Delhi, we had one gentleman who worked out at 434 studios in a year.
My God.
And then,
Was it a real person?
yes, and he then nominated himself for Limca Book of World Records, and I think he's named in it.
Wow.
So people who, I think the other biggest finding that we had was when I said 573 cities, I don't think people can name 100 cities in India.
No, so Bharat is also working out,
Yeah.
not just India.
The aspiration to be fit, to play with your child, to not be sick, to not be a liability on your family is everywhere. And there are more people in Bharat who train for your NDA, CRPF, Indo-Tibetan Border Police Force, Home Guard. All of those boys and girls need nutrition and physical activity. Only technology will solve this. Opening a new gym does not solve this. And Baba Ramdev did this really well. He brought it into mainstream, but it is a different audience that he serves. And there is a younger audience that needs to be served across tier 2, tier 3, across
So which is the, I would say, most active tier 2, tier 3 cities? As you're saying you have presence everywhere, which is one of the most active cities that you have come across, or active towns that you've come across?
So actually tier 2, tier 3 are way more active than tier 1. That could be a function of because tier 1 has more distractions or timings are such. But Jaipur, Chandigarh, Ahmedabad, they are very active. Now we're seeing Guwahati, Bhubaneswar, Kolkata, as a matter of fact, in the last 2 months has started peaking. So cities where you traditionally did not, so East India was not traditionally attributed as people who want to maybe be fit because there was attributed with people taking a nap after their lunch siestas. But that is not what young India is.
Okay. What about your fitness regime? Do you have a Fitpass? Or now you have a home gym, I'm sure.
So, but I travel a lot also. No, but yes, all of us have Fitpass memberships. All of us use our memberships. What I do is I mix my workouts. So currently I just had an ACL surgery last Jan. So 3 days a month, 3 days a week is my rehab, and the other 3 days are my workouts, either home or at a Fitpass gym.
Okay, I think now after running this company, it's about time you have your own gym at home.
I don't need a gym at home, right? Because I have 12,000 of them. So, I think we are possibly India's largest gym chain, like how you said Uber. So how probably Uber is the largest taxi fleet without owning the asset because of the behavioral aspect that we command of the consumer.
You know, the thing with aggregators and the downside of it, and this is something that Uber faced recently, where it was a landmark case where they were held responsible for something one of the drivers did. Reputationally, at least, if someone has a bad experience at one of the 12,000 gyms that have tied up, it's on you.
Yes.
Because they're your customer.
Yes. Yes, it is on us, and it is something we take very seriously. There are 134-point checklists that our gyms and fitness studios have to meet before they get onboarded to our partner network and before you get access. Because if you look at our client base also, we're possibly India's largest corporate well-being platform. We have 20 lakh active employees of India Inc., with all the blue chip companies subsidizing it for their employees or getting it through insurance. Gyms are commercial businesses. They're public spaces. So such incidents as of date in our 11 years have not happened. But do we take that for granted? No. Do we have measures in place? Yes.
Okay. Well, before we wrap up, one hack for Fitpass users that you can suggest?
I think make a lot of money, because we're paying you to get fit and get rich. So I think make a lot of money, build your habits, because this is the only place where we're allowing you to grow financially and health-wise.
Okay. On that note, thank you so much, Akshay, for coming in and speaking with us today on the show.
Thank you for having me.